Well, this morning, an assistant youth football coach arrested and out of a job after police say he pushed down a 7-year-old player on the opposing team during a game.
Let's get right to your reporter, Marcy Jones, live at New Milford High School where this happened. So, Marcy, how is the community responding this morning?
Well, lots of questions still waiting to be answered. We know that this former youth football coach is facing several charges after allegedly pushing down a little boy during yesterday's game. And it's left many questions again among the community, like how did this happen and what comes next for the program? The arrested coach, 38-year-old Daniel Fazio of New Milford, was coaching the New Milford Bulls youth football team during a game against the Water Oak youth team yesterday when Fazio allegedly pushed a 7-year-old player from the opposing team to the ground. No injuries were reported, but the incident prompted immediate action from the team. The New Milford Bulls released a statement saying, in part, quote, "The New Milford Bulls organization does not condone the recent behavior displayed by our former assistant coach. The behavior of one individual is not representative of the sentiments, moral compass, or values of the entirety of the program." Fazio faces several charges, including second-degree breach of peace and risk of injury to a child. Fazio posted a $20,000 bond and is due back in court October 2nd. Your reporter in New Milford, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.